There are so many misconceptions in the surgery world. And one big misconception is that it's better to stay in the US than to go overseas, or it's better to go overseas than to stay in the US. This is something that I get asked about all the time. Like, should I stay in the United States for my surgery? Should I go overseas? Is it cheaper? There's so many misconceptions, but today we're going to talk about the top 3 misconceptions when it comes to traveling for plastic surgery. If you don't know me, my name is Laura Alexis, and I'm the CEO and founder of Pop Recovery Systems, the first ever recovery system created to help and empower men and women on their surgery journey. And I always get asked, like, should I go overseas to Mexico for bariatric surgery? Should I go to Colombia for my BBL? Should I go to Turkey for my facelift? Well, today we're going to talk about it because there are so many misconceptions when it comes to this subject, and I've learned enough to share it here with you. So before we get into that, it's so important that when you're going on your surgery journey that you are well informed, not by consultants that are just after your money and not by surgeons who are also after your money. A lot of them are really good at what they do, but they put profits over patient, and you want to focus on someone who's putting patients over profit. So if you know anyone on their surgery journey, please like, share, subscribe to this channel if you're thinking about having surgery. Here, you'll hear from me mostly, but I get my information from trusted sources, board certified plastic surgeons, advocates, and most important, hundreds of patients that have been through this process before. Oh yeah, and by the way, I've had my own surgery in July of 2020, and that hardship led me to create these systems. And I'm having surgery again, February 26th of 2024. I'll be sharing my experience and just giving you some inside scoop on all the aspects of surgery, from mental health, which is the most important, nutrition, and of course, concierge wellness. But what we're talking about today, of course, is the misconception of traveling. So, misconception number 1, and this is a big one. People actually think that there are no board certified plastic surgeons overseas. That can't be farther from the truth. The American board certified plastic surgeon system is completely separate than those that are in Colombia, Dominican Republic, and Turkey. It is said that ours is more strenuous, but it doesn't mean that it's less effective. So when you're going overseas, you also want to make sure that you're looking for a board certified plastic surgeon or whatever certification that they accept at a high level in their particular country, because they vary from country to country. Now, don't you worry. If you click the link below and fill out your information, and all you have to do is put overseas, we will send you a list of the certifications that you need to look for depending on the country that you're going to. But it is very, very important that you take heed to this list, and then you take the necessary steps to really research and verify what that information says is accurate. Like, you want to go to their official website, not just some third party. So make sure that you dig deep into that. Again, as we like to say here, it's not just surgery. This is your life. So it's very important to take it seriously. Misconception number 2. This one, oh my gosh, it has to be said and actually like screamed from the rooftops. Misconception number 2 is that you can get the exact same surgery in any country, and that is not true. Every single country has their own look. For example, if you're here in the comments and you've had surgery, please put the country and the actual surgery that you had. What you'll see in alignment is that a lot of times the best facelifts, I hate to say it, are in Europe. The best BBLs are in Colombia. That vixen look that people go for, that you'll typically find in the Dominican Republic. It all depends on what you want to look like, and really each country has its own look. I mean, keep in mind like the different Vogue magazines, whether you're in Italy or in Asia or in the United States, a lot of times you're going to have a different look, a different feel, because they have their different ideas of what beauty is. Now, beauty is much more than skin deep. So that part really doesn't matter as much as what do you want to look like? What do you want to come off the table and after a great recovery see in the mirror? That's what you want to ask yourself. Now, before we get into misconception number 3, which is the biggest one of all, I want to remind you that when you're going on your surgery journey, there are so many things that go into consideration. One thing that I did not consider was that body dysmorphia is a real thing. I didn't realize that it was going to take my mind a while to catch up to my new body. So make sure that you're tapping into mental health resources, anxiety resources. There's a book called Save Your Face Without Losing Your Mind by Dr. Alan Goodwin, where it talks about mindfulness on the cosmetic surgery journey. I totally recommend that. Have you had surgery? Let us know in the comments if you went through that recovery roller coaster, because that's a real thing. That is something that I went through wholeheartedly. It's the whole reason that pop recovery systems exist. Drum roll, please. The number 3 and number 1 misconception is that it's cheaper to go overseas. I can tell you from experience, I'm going to be going to Colombia for my mommy makeover tummy tuck, 360 lipo BBL, and body tight, and it is not cheaper overseas, especially if you're going to a specialist. She specializes in second rounds. She specializes in the look that I'm going for, and I'm going to be staying there for 6 weeks. So I'm going to need a care team. I'm going to need a place to stay. I want to make sure that I eat properly. So I'm going to be hiring a chef. And I'm not saying that you have to do this, but if you're going overseas, because you're going to be so far away from home, it is actually more important that you budget more money to be able to have all those creature comforts that are going to allow you to have a better experience. It is not less expensive to go overseas. Once you add up the plane ride, and you're going to want first class on your way back, because you need to have first class on your way back. Last row, first class seats, okay? And you're gonna have to keep in mind your recovery home or recovery nurse. I personally recommend that you do a very nice Airbnb that allows you to bring a nurse into the home, specifically what I recommend for going overseas. On top of that, you're gonna wanna make sure that you have your lymphatic massages booked, your hyperbaric chamber booked. These things are very accessible when you're going overseas, but all of this adds up. I think that right now alone, my care team is already up to $3,200. And so that's just the care team. Think about the surgery itself. So when I'm comparing the quotes that I see from my clients in comparison to the quote that I am receiving for my own surgery, they're actually, mine is actually a little bit more expensive, I think, than what I would pay to go to the US. So I think it's so important to know these things when you're on your surgery journey. Do not have these misconceptions be a part of your planning. You want to plan the right way. So again, the only way that anyone will see this information is if you like, if you share, and if you enjoy. Please send us your comments. We want to know what we can do better, and we look forward to seeing your successful surgery journey.